let's cover this. We went to go talk about it this morning, and I got caught up in the, talking about hip hop music and stuff like that, how it changed. So let's get back into this. These NBA contracts are just insane. And we just seen, what was his name? De'Aaron Fox get like a 4-year, $229 million. Wow. Guy has never made an all NBA first team, only made one all NBA third team. I think he made the All-Star like 1 or 2 years. You can't be serious. You can't be serious. And these guys are supposedly making all this kind of money. I think he got a steals title too, right? But this guy has been in the league. He's been in the league 8 years and only made the playoffs 1 time. Are you serious? You only made the playoffs 1 time in 8 years in the league? And you basically wasn't even the leader of the team when Sabonis was there in Sacramento. I would consider Sabonis more the leader than this fool, De'Aaron Fox. And then I just seen something strolling through social media, and then, SportsCenter, ESPN has turned into the dumbest sports network of all time, man. I don't know what's wrong with these people, man. Yes, they have to promote these leagues because they bought the rights to the league. So they have to entertain us with these players. That's fine. But the fact that they stop holding these players to any type of standard is just disgusting. And then you want to compare these players to past players for what? For what? So yeah, they're talking about Anthony Edwards' birthday. Oh, can you believe he's 24 years old? And then they try to put his greatest plays on there. He's talking about he was A1 from day one. Oh boy. Is it going to be like this every year with this guy? He's going to flame out in a round that he loses in that last game. Is he going to flame out every damn time? I'm serious. And they keep comparing this guy to all-time greats who lost maybe in the playoffs, doing the damn thing, but they were up against a better team, and that's how they lost. We're looking at players like Anthony Edwards, who is losing in the playoffs because he bricked it up, because he didn't put on a show when it counted. He could put on a show 2 out of 6 games. I give it to him. They beat LeBron and them. But what is that saying? It ain't saying nothing much to me when sports gambling is legal. To me, there was no way. You guys look back on that the Lakers were supposed to lose to Minnesota. That team was stacked. Again, you had Rory, you had Reeves, you had LeBron, you had Luka, you had all these guys. I don't give a damn about how deep the bench was. Bench really don't play in the playoffs that much anyways. Nevertheless, they should have not lost to a 6 seed. They were a 3 seed. So I really wasn't too impressed. He beat a choker. That's who he really beat. Anthony Edwards, he beat a choker. LeBron James. I just don't see Luka Doncic being a 3 and losing. He beat that Minnesota team. We don't remember? He beat that Minnesota team. And he gave, what's his name? Oh my God, I can't remember. Rudy. He gave Rudy Gobert that work. We don't remember that, right? The year before last? Or I guess can we say last year? How was it Luka was able to beat that team? To me, a better team. I don't think Julius Randle is better than Cat. I just don't. You don't have a proven resume that proves that. Okay? So, again, Luka was able to beat Anthony Edwards in that Minnesota team, which I think was stronger last year And Luka wasn't able to do it with LeBron James, the GOAT? Wow! So again, guys, I'm not buying it. When sports gambling is legal, I'm not buying these things. LeBron James has no honor, no class, no integrity for the game. Like Sports and Fitness Ranch likes to say, none of that stuff. None of that. So I'm just going to try to, hush up because I don't have no real facts. But, he's not mad that he lost. And plus, we all know he ain't trying to go back to no other NBA finals. He was making more money and causing more controversy on his podcast, and the damn podcast getting more attention than the actual NBA finals, folks. Okay? Or the rest of the playoffs in general. So I'm not buying that. As far as Anthony Edwards, what are we celebrating? I'm trying to find out what ESPN is celebrating. I said, can you believe it's been that fast, man? He's been in the league for 5 years. So this guy's been in the league for 5 years, folks. Now, for his failures, and I wouldn't even call them failures if they didn't pump this guy up to a Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, up to the top 5 guys of all time, top 10. The guy ain't even a top goddamn 75 player. I won't put him on over any top 75 player today. Well, that's in the top 75. I wouldn't. But, yeah, they're like, do you believe it's been 5 years already? Again, what are we celebrating? A guy who has never made all NBA first team. So if you haven't even made all NBA first team, that means you're not even a superstar in this league. I don't give a damn who's in front of you. If you're that dude, you're supposed to be making all NBA first team. It don't matter who's in front of you. Luka done made it every year except for this year because he didn't qualify. So you let a plumber make it every year over you? Who was all NBA first this season? So I guess it was SGA. As far as the guard position, and I guess Tatum beat him out. I don't care, man. That's Tatum, man. That SGA. I would give a damn if you're that dude. You're that dude. Because guess what? I can guarantee you, Tatum is coming the hell off that All NBA first team next season. He just is. Or is he? No, Tatum is a forward. Jason Tatum is a forward. Oh, yeah, I think it was Donovan Mitchell who made All-NBA first team this year. I think it was Donovan Mitchell. And I think that this was his maybe second one in all these years. Second All-NBA first. I think he made one in, if I'm not mistaken, Utah. Yeah, but I don't know, man. This guy better get going, man, because you got some competition right there. At that guard spot, you got SGA, you got Donovan Mitchell, and I'm going to talk about him in a minute, but you got Donovan Mitchell, and you have, who else was it? And Luka. And you got some other guys, but I would say those are the main guys. I thought he would make first team. When I looked at Donovan Mitchell's numbers and I looked at Anthony Edwards' numbers, I thought that Anthony Edwards would be first team. Nevertheless, it's over. It's over. I don't want to hear that. I'm talking about this dude better start coming. All this Michael Jordan talk, it better start showing up. You know why? I'm going to give you 5 seconds to answer that question. Yes, sir. Those 5 seconds have evaporated. And the thing is, unless one of these guys get hurt, SGA or Luka, Anthony Edwards is never making an All-NBA first team. Again, I'm serious. Unless Luka or SGA is hurt that season, Anthony Edwards will never make a first team. has never made the first team and never will unless those guys are hurt. So what does that mean? Well, it means that Anthony Edwards is not a superstar. I don't care how good SGA is. I don't care how good Luka is. You got to be better than them. You have to be better than them. I just don't think he can be better than Luka. I just don't think so. Sorry. He might, be able to put up the points, but you better start grabbing the rebounds and assists. I don't think you're going to be able to push Luka out of that spot. And guess what? SGA just won the damn MVP. I mean, we were there 7 years. That's when Michael Jordan won his first one, as far as championships. But nah, bro. Nah. You ESPN, all these fools got something to explain with this guy. Don't tell me he's 24. Tell me he came in the weakest era in NBA history. The weakest era in NBA history, the 2020s. That's what you tell me. Okay? If you came in early, that means you was ready. If you came in, he came in after his sophomore year, I think. So if you came in after your sophomore year into the weakest era of all time, that means you was ready. You should have been dominating from the jump. You were talking about he was A1 since day one. A lot of foolish talk. Just a lot of nonsense. And we already know what needs to be happening next year. You got to work on that mid-range. What happens in the playoffs? Everything slows down. They might, you might have 1 or 2 games where you're shooting that 3 ball out of control, but they start to let dudes play defense in the playoffs, especially in this era. We seen it last year. Stuff just slows down. The game just slows down, period, in the playoffs. So this is what this guy, Anthony Edwards, he don't have on Luka. He don't have on SGA. He don't have that mid-range game. And he can't bring you down to the post and hit you with an array of moves. Last year was a regression for Anthony Edwards, man. It turned into he regressed with all these threes. He led the league, I think, in 3-point attempts. Insane. He didn't want no all-around game. Only all-around game he wanted was to go all around the 3-point line and shoot a 3 from every spot. That's the all-around game for this guy. Now, I did see, he did improve on rebounding, and I guess you can say he improved a little bit on defense. Still didn't make a defensive team. Goodness God. Still don't have no statistical accolades, right? Still don't have that. So, De'Aaron Fox, I'm beating up on this guy for making 1 All-NBA third team. I think he made 2 All-Star appearances in a damn steals title. At least he got a steals title. He didn't make no All-NBA defensive teams or nothing like that. De'Aaron Fox. I mean, that's what I'm saying, guys. All these, this guy is just signed a max with not even 1 All-NBA second defensive team. What? And not even 1 All-NBA second team? I mean, like I said, man, these people who go to these games, they're not real NBA fans, man. They just go to see entertainment, and that's all they're there for. God made a whole video, and he showed like how the arenas used to be in the 80s and the 90s and maybe the early 2000s, how it was built, how it was more cheap for the regular, everyday, real basketball fan. And then starting in the, I would say the 2010s, but maybe the late 2010s, they start making it, they start building these arenas and changing them, to celebrate white-collar workers and rich people with money and people who ain't even really fans of a team, fans of basketball. It's just crazy. Like, they don't even hold these players to a standard. They're just there watching them travel and carry and doing this stuff all up and down the court, and they say nothing. I literally seen little kids in the audience say, travel, carry. And you know how they put their hand under the ball? And the little kid, they put their hand under the ball and, do that gesture right there, which is a carry, up and under. And the kid is screaming, carry. And maybe it would have been about, I don't know, 6 to 9 years old, maybe. Something around there. And, it's just sad that the refs don't call this stuff. And you have little kids pointing it out in the audience. And we did a video on this the other day, how it was maybe a couple months ago, how the NBA literally, because we asked AI, or we asked Google, whatever, it's basically AI now, and they said something to the effect that they literally let them carry and travel to keep the flow of the game for entertainment purposes. And that's exactly what I'm trying to tell you with their contracts. Entertainment purposes only, folks. Okay, so if they're letting them break the rules of basketball, then it's, to me, say what you want, it's no longer a real sports league. Therefore, when they come with these outrageous contracts for players, where, nobody even watching this trash, the lowest ratings of all time, networks can't afford it no more. They have to, go three different networks just to buy the rights to the NBA because they can't afford it on their own because nobody's watching the trash. It just clearly tells me that the contracts are entertainment purposes only, and that these leagues, and also I'm gonna keep beating a dead horse. Who came up with that? Did that really happen? I'm not really in the knowing of this. Where did that come from? Like they have some sayings like it's a cakewalk. And then you look, well, let's see what that meant. You really don't know what that meant. So you go back and look at it, and it's a real thing. Something comes up and how it came about. But you guys tell me, that really happened? I don't mean to beat a dead horse. Did they beat a horse until it was dead and then kept beating it again? I don't, it's not even funny. That's why I'm just trying to figure out, did that really happen? Back in the day, where people really doing, I don't mean to beat a dead horse. It was like some event to where, back in the day when they used to ride horses before cars. You know what I'm saying? That they rode, is that what they mean? They rode the horse until it was dead? Abuse? I don't know. You guys tell me. I don't want to keep coming up with all this crazy stuff in my head. But yeah, I don't mean to beat a dead horse, as they would say, whatever the hell that means. But these teams, these big teams like the Lakers, the Celtics, I think it was the Bucks and some other teams, they sold their teams. They already see what's in front of them. The value is not going to be good in the future. And I don't think it is right now. So nobody is watching this trash. Lowest ratings of all time. So like I said, how can you be giving these guys all these contracts? These contracts like this. I don't know, guys. It makes no sense. And then we already told you, these guys running podcasts. I know a lot of people want to say that. I be hearing a lot of people, they really want to say that on their channel. They really want to say that on the channel. They just can't say it the way I'm saying it because they already know YouTube is going to come for them. Because that's something big, guys. It's huge. It's huge that they will be lying about how much these guys make. And they're not really making this money. In a way, they could be telling the truth if the league is just for entertainment purposes only. The contracts could be, just for entertainment purposes only. We don't know that. But everything points to what I'm saying. And then they're like, oh yeah, we well, they're not saying it, but they're doing it. Look, ex-NBA players podcasting and trying to make money is insane. Because we were told, especially the ones that played in the 2010s, 2000s, 90s, 80s, We were told that these guys made tens of millions of dollars a year. So just for them to have to, retire and get a job like you and me, podcast, be coaches, do all these different things, be analysts, whatever, it's kind of weird to me. Now, if you're off doing business ventures, yes, you own a McDonald's, a Starbucks, a car wash, or, you know what I'm saying? You're buying real estate, you're doing, businessmen because you made tens of millions of dollars in your career. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would think. Me sitting at a desk after I played for 12, 15, whatever years, and I made tens of millions a year, and now I want to go sit at a desk and talk about some sweaty men? For what? They better be paying a lot of money. Perk almost made $100 million in his career. And this guy, he said something one day. He said, when he was talking about LeBron hating on him, one day he said, man, I got a job to do, man. Ain't nobody gonna make me lose my job. I got to do what I got to do to keep my job at ESPN. I'm like, really? You can't be making that much. They done fired all the good analysts. You're not good. Stephen A. Smith ain't making all that money that they're saying. Oh, he just made. No, he ain't. He still has to do his Stephen A. Smith show on the side. He ain't make that. ESPN can't even afford workers. How they giving him all this money? But anyways, like I said, that's insane in itself with these players that played in the past, like the 80s, the 90s, and maybe the 2000s. These guys made tens of millions a year, if not hundreds of millions. So that's just insane. But to sit there and see these guys literally podcasting during the season in the 2020s, these guys make the most money of all time. What would be the reason? Other than you aren't really making that kind of money. And then they don't podcast to bring the NBA together, to bring, past fans, present fans together. They do it, these players today on our podcast, they do it to piss people off. To make people go at each other. Well, NBA fans go at each other. Because they're not interesting enough. Just to sell you the truth. Sell you themselves. They have to lie and cause controversy, all this drama, say all these dumb things. I'm sticking with my story. That's just what I believe. They pointing all this stuff out to me. And I know I hear people sometimes they want to say it. Listen, I know people watch my channel that will never, ever say my name. Never. And I'm talking about some of the big channels out here with 80,000 subs, 200, 100,000. A lot of these dudes that will never say my name. Because they ain't jiggy like me. First of all they can try to do is act like these conservative basketball channels. I ain't saying conservative, but they got to play a role to YouTube. They only can say so much. Even if they act like they're, basketball historians, acting like they're out here really giving these NBA players the drama. What do you call that? The business, acting like, they're against this, they're against. Trust me, they ain't said nothing close to what I'm saying out here. Nothing. But I'm just saying, I know they listen to my channel because they can't give it to you like I give it to you. They can't. My channel is more raw than Too Raw for Sports. Too Raw for TV. Am I saying I got a better channel than him? No. I'm not saying that. I ain't even saying I'm on his level as far as basketball history. But as far as giving it to you raw, he can't even give it to you as raw as I can. And not because he's a punk or nothing like that, because when you're monetized, you can only go so far. See, there are channels out there like big conspiracy channels and stuff like that, but that go way out there. But a lot of them, are sworn in. If you know what I mean. I ain't gonna go too much further than that. So they can say whatever they want. And that's why they're able to say a lot of stuff, and still have the views, still be monetized, because they're sworn in. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I won't go too deep into it, whatever. But as far as sports, no, ain't nobody giving it to you as raw as me. And it's the reason why when you look at some of my posts, my videos on my channel, it's a joke, right? It says 300, 200, 300, 400. It's a joke, right? Because YouTube, I'm the most shadow banned dude out there. Who put together all the ESPN clips of LeBron James from the past? With Kobe talking, with LeBron James talking, all this stuff from 2000, what was it? In the 2000s all the way up, what was it, 2000, we'll say about 2008, all the way in, what was it, like 2018? I put all that stuff together. It was me. That's in the Jordan LeBron debate. That's all you need right there, folks. You don't need to go back and forth. That debate's over right there with those compilation of videos I put together. You don't need no numbers. You don't need no stats. All that stuff talks to itself, because you cannot rewrite that history of what was said back then by those analysts back then who are trying to flip-flop today. And I'm not trying to boost myself up. I'm just saying that, you know, when you're monetized, you only can say so much, man. I'm trying to tell you. You only can say so much. And I'm not trying to hate on the people who can only say so much, because, you know, a lot of them, I love their channels and stuff like that. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on this, man. I'm gonna get off the phone, but it's a joke, man. It's a joke. We're out here struggling. We're out here doing our jobs right, and, you know, giving effort in our jobs, barely making it. And you know, some of our companies are doing good, but only doing bad because of the economy. And we're good workers. A lot of us are like the best at what we do, right? And we give full effort at our job. And we ain't making no money like this. And I'm not trying to say we should make NBA money like NBA players, but when I see people, especially black people, they need to stop. Oh, look, we're hating on the black man money. Look what the owner's making. That was true for actual sports players in the past that was out there giving effort. It was competing on a professional level. Yes, we was like, that's crazy. They should be making more money. But still, in comparison to how much we was making at work, they were still making more. Stop saying these stupid, insane things, especially with these era guys, that they deserve this money. If you say it, I want to see some proof as far as their work ethic at a professional in the highest level. Show me that proof. Second of all, we all work at companies. Some of us work at big companies where these companies make billions and millions a year. How much are you making versus how much your owner made? Listen, I worked for the garbage company one time. The local garbage company in the city. In our bull issue, now this was years ago. And to kind of find out, these people were the company, the overall company made $12 billion a year, folks. That was back a long time ago. And they wasn't paying the employees jack spit. And guess what? They was mostly all black employees. Unloading garbage, driving a garbage truck, they were paying them ish. And that wasn't even the biggest garbage company in like the United States. It might have been like the fourth. These sports players are playing a child's game. And again, if you're going to get up to that highest level of NBA, at least go out there and compete. These dudes ain't competing. I don't care nothing about these guys' contracts. They don't deserve it. Not only don't they deserve it because they're not competing on a high level, game in and game out, and they're chasing the fans away, but the league ain't. The league ratings are done, finished. It's a joke. And they got the attitude that they don't care. So you're rewarding, let me see, what's the word? So your product is a failing product, according to viewership. So this product that you keep rolling out ain't selling to the customer. But yet you keep rewarding the product, which will be the players, even more and more and more outrageously for chasing the customer away. So to me, I mean, I'm gonna just use my brain. This league is just giving these players, if they are, like I said, I don't believe they're making these contracts, but my thinking is they're telling us they're giving these players this amount of money, whether you believe they're making it or not. That's irrelevant. Well, it's really not irrelevant, but you see how crazy that is? But whether you believe they're making it or not, we just leave it right there and there. The reason why they're making this money, or we're being told that they're making this money, is because of one thing, folks. Because these teams want to raise the prices of everything. $50 for a hot dog, $300 for parking, an alcohol beverage, $40. Some cotton candy, $60. All this crazy stuff. Tickets, merch, outrageous. So this is basically why, folks. But again, I will take a bow. No, I'm just playing. Look at everything surrounding the way these guys move. Of course, LeBron, I always laugh when they, LeBron James, a billionaire. So why is he still running the court? See, we was saying this the other day on one of my videos. We said that it's okay to think. People always want to be told what to think instead of thinking. Because when you start to think for yourself, it starts to hurt your feelings. And when you start to think for yourself, this whole world and how it's ran is a lie. And how you find that out is you start putting pieces together. It's an investigation. And then you have gatekeepers. They will try to hide the clues from you so they can get patted on the back and rewarded, even in this YouTube space. But it's still on you. These people don't pay your bills. They don't live your life as a human being. Like I said, it's okay to think, folks. You don't always have to be told what's what and how to think and figure things out when, you know, the clues are there. We're in the information age. We can't see GPT, chat, whatever the hell that is in AI cannot think me. Ain't gonna tell me what to think. So again, look for in the future some more of these ludicrous contracts to come out because they want to keep raising the prices for something, again, that nobody cares about, nobody's watching and stuff like that. And that's why I said it just sounds ridiculous.